What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews back at it again. Finally able to get a video up here. Like I said in my last video, I got graduation, got a couple of things coming around right now. So, just happy to get here to record. And thankfully during the week, there was a pretty big news drop in battle rap with the UM5 Ultimate Madness 5 tournament matchups being released. Super excited to go over all of these. This will be a shorter video than usual. Just going to give, a quick prediction why I think a battler will win. Not too in-depth because we don't even have the bracket yet. So we don't know what sides of the bracket, what winners go to what other winners and whatnot. So just going to be a quick overview of the matchups, who I got winning, the standouts, the battles I don't like. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. So we're just going to start from the bottom of the matchups, the flyer, and work our way up. And the first matchup at the very bottom is Shotgun Shug versus Swamp. In my opinion, this is actually one of the more competitive and better matchups of the entire first round. I think Swamp's been deserving of a bigger play. He just battled Dot on Civil War 2. I wasn't able to get all the, hear the audio. Obviously, footage hasn't dropped. But I've heard it's a pretty decisive Swamp 30ing, body bagging Dot. Really isn't much of a surprise. It's a complete mismatch that Dot was even booked versus Swamp. It's borderline disrespectful booking. And not even as someone that's a humongous Swamp guy or anything. There's tons of flaws in Swamp's game and losses that he's taken. And even now, 30ing Dot is great. But, the Sirius Jones battle, even going up after such a big advantage. I have him edging the battle, but that's a weird battle. He choked in it. So Swamp's been a little all over the place, but the last tournament he was in, UM3, he was exceptional. And I think Shug is a fair name and a fair challenge matchup. I've heard that this card is going to be on a stage of some sort. Whether it's going to be 1,000 people plus, I would doubt. But it is going to have, I've heard, at least a few hundred people around. I don't have an exact number, but performance and stage presence is going to matter. So this is a pretty valid challenge for Swamp. I think it's a winnable battle too. And I actually have Swamp 2-1 just going off of right now. Obviously, Shug can win, but there's always some inconsistency with Shug in terms of how many effective rounds is he going to bring. I think Shug is always going to be great. He's an entertainer. He's always going to be great for entertaining the crowd for one round. But in a competitive battle, it can be spotty sometimes in the multiple rounds. As of recent, his last, I believe, 3-rounder was real name Brandon. He won that battle pretty clear. I think Swamp is a step up in terms of challenge from real name. So we're just going to see what happens here. But I do think it's going to be a good battle either way. Obviously, 100K on the line. It's a motivator for anyone. So I have Swamp 2-1. Next battle, Real Sick versus Stumbles. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. I've had some people actually tell me Stumbles are going to win. I'm going to have to see it to believe it. For me, this is a bye week for Real Sick. It's a complete mismatch. One of the arguments I've actually heard is Stumbles, since it's going to be on a stage, Stumbles has more personality and is going to be able to perform a little bit more. But we don't even really have a catalog from Stumbles to break down. Most of what we hear about Stumbles is outside of the ring for the most part. One could debate that's how his name even was brought up here, is because we're all hearing about Stumbles lately. But he definitely has some talent. He's a hilarious character in the spaces all around. Stumbles is really funny. But in terms of actually battling, being a battle rapper, I just don't see it. I think Real Sick is established. Obviously, been losing a little bit lately to the general consensus. But we're talking about DNA, Pat Stay. And I actually have him winning a couple of these battles. I have him edging DNA and I have him edging Pat Stay. But I do recognize the consensus pretty clearly has him losing to Pat and DNA. As well as there's one more in there that I'm forgetting out of his little 3. Oh, and Av, which I thought he lost pretty clear to Av. But he's good in all those battles. That's top-tier comp. Stumbles is not top-tier comp, respectfully. So I have Real Sick advancing pretty easily this round. So the next matchup to cover here, the first of few rematches that we have, Nun versus Sheet happens. Instantaneous rematch. The battle just took place on Initiation 2. Names get drawn, luck of the draw, it is what it is. It's not like anyone booked the match. That's how the paper, Jay Black was drawing papers to do like a randomized matchup, kind of like a draft day thing. And we got Nun versus Sheet again. In the original battle, I believe I had Nun edging 2-1. I believe it was the first two. In a pretty dope battle. It was pretty good. But I think it's going to be hard for them to bounce back and immediately have rematch material for each other. Just not a matchup that had too much built in it to begin with. So on the rematch, you might expect a lot of name flipping, maybe some stale-ish material. Definitely a battle that I'm less excited for, not even just because of both these battles. I think they're both really talented and actually having good years, and I wanted to see both in this tournament. I want to see more from them, maybe just not versus each other. So going in, it's tough. You add the stage element. I think Sheed is growing to be more of a performance-based battler, definitely a better performer, I think, than Nun in terms of his animation, his electricity. So that goes in his favor, and I think he tries a lot more creative concepts. So I think that while a lot of things lead towards Sheed, Nun himself was just on Civil War II as well. I think we talked about Swamp on Civil War II earlier. Nun was on there, and apparently he beat Sharon possibly 3-0, but very clear. Obviously, footage hasn't dropped. I definitely got to see that one for myself. But he's been trending in the direction. Nun's been having a great year, possibly the most improved battler of 2022 so far. So I'm going to go with Nun edge in this battle, but 50-50 call. And that will also lead me into talking about Head Ice versus Shoony the Rapper. A matchup that has gotten a lot of people are saying this is a bye week. This isn't a good matchup. I can understand that Head Ice's style is really hard to understand sometimes and dissect for all of us. Sometimes Ice is kind of talking about nothing, but Ice is not just some walk in the park. His vert performance was worrisome, but in general, I don't think Ice is an easy battle to walk over. If he gets into a certain real talk bag, I think he could be great, especially in a battle like this. I don't really know what he's going to have to say to Shoony like that. I don't think Ice has ever battled a woman, but somewhere between the real talk and the disrespect is where I expect Ice. I don't think he's going to bar her down. And I just think that's his disadvantage in this battle is Shoony is on a great run. For me right now, I might make a video of it. You guys let me know. I'm thinking about dropping a top 10 champion of the year, top 10 woman of the year tracker. Just my own personal, top 10s here and there. I tweet them out on my Twitter if y'all want to go follow me there, if that's some content you're interested in. But how that applies to Shoony, like I said, Shoony right now is my number 2 for woman of the year, runner-up to Perstavia. And I just think that she's been fantastic. She's coming off a battle versus Fonz, the best battle on the Kings versus Queens, day 1 or day 2, her and Fonz. And even though I did have her losing the battle pretty clear, I had Shoony taking the first. I had her being pretty fucking fantastic versus Fonz. Very motivated. She just seems very motivated, and I think that she's going to be motivated even more for 100K. So I do have Shoony beating Head Ice in this battle. Next battle up, another rematch, one of the more star-studded ones at the tournament, JC versus O-Red. Big storyline here is the return of O-Red to URL. People have been asking for it for a while, and here we got it with a rematch versus JC. Now, for those of you that remember, they battled on Genesis, and JC wiped the floor with O-Red, 3-0 body bag. And I don't remember if that is the last time that O-Red battled on Smack. I don't remember if Danny Myers, who also 3-0 murdered O-Red. I don't know if that was before or after. I'm missing the dates a little bit on that one. But O-Red also has been on RBE. I believe battled B-Magic. I think his last great showing was versus A-Ward in RBE. But the O-Red, it's been here and there with O-Red. He hasn't really produced at the level that he's known for, the Transformer, the Prime, the Pen. He's gotten a little bit lazy, a little stumbly, it seems like. Sen looks unmotivated. But hopefully this battle can change that. But I just don't know if JC's the guy that you want to try to get your get back on. Stage-wise, I think JC, for all the Pen, is really underrated big stage performer. He does rather well on stages of any kind, as far as I can remember. You look at recent, the Shubs, the O-Reds, a few of these last battles that JC's had, even the DNAs, that's going back a little farther, of course. But point is that I think that this battle, pretty much everything is pointing towards JC. Now, is it possible for O-Red to be fire and win, make it a classic? I mean, this battle, when you have 2 top tiers with just history, not together, but besides the battle they had, but just both of them are established. Both of them all types of highlights, all types of lowlights and whatnot. This battle could really go a bunch of different ways, but based off of recent history, the patterns I'm seeing, I just can't bet against JC again. Not only do I have JC winning clear, but I do think this has the danger of being another possible 3-0. Maybe not a body. Hopefully O-Red is prideful and doesn't let that happen, but just the way JC's been cooking lately, he battled C3, won that battle pretty clear on the day 2 card of Kings versus Queens 3 as well. Just all pointing towards JC, so I got to rock out. I got JC beating O-Red in this first round, and that leads us into the battle I'm the most excited for. I could go on and on about it. I'll try to keep it short, but Fonz versus Perstavia. This is the best battle matchup of the first round to me. Both in stature, pretty big compared to their opponents for the most part. aggressive and drop haymakers, big on bombs. Man, it doesn't get better than this. Like I said before, I got Perstavia as #1 on my Woman of the Year, tracker right now. I think that she's had a fantastic 2022 so far. All the hype has been built up on her, and she's answering all those calls so far this year. And Fonz is shaping out to get his top-tier superstar push here. I think he's the second best out of UM1, the class with Easy, Sick, all them. I think he truly is, and I think Fonz is pretty much guaranteed to be a top-tier a sure thing prospect, and he's showing it right now. This could be a punch fest. This could be a classic waiting to happen. This battle is definitely on classic watch. It's a damn near toss-up to pick, but the way Fonz has been battling, I don't know, it makes it hard. I'm going to go with Fonz. I'm going to pick Fonz just because I've been very impressed with some of the highlight haymakers that Fonz has had, and I think he's finding himself. His confidence is at an all-time high. Everything I just said I could say for Perstavia. So, I don't know, maybe I'm picking on preference. Maybe I'm siding with the guys, but I'm going to have to go, just for now. Opinion will definitely probably change between now and UM5, but I have Fonz on the slightest of edges in a borderline, if not classic battle. To close out with two of the last matchups here, we have New Jersey Twerk versus Real Name Brandon. Another rematch. I'm not a fan of this. I don't think Twerk should be in UM5. I'm not humongous, Twerk hater. I know some people say that, and I'm not going to run over all the chokes and all that. The man knows what he's did. We all know that he's electric. We all know the highlights of his career, and that's why he keeps getting booked. And we know that the attention he's able to bring to the sport, the excitement. I get it. I understand. No one has to break down the business for me. But I just think it's not only weird for Twerk to be back in a UM, considering the issues he's had with preparation for battles and choking, but to go against Real Name Brandon, the battle he was benched for, and then draw it as the rematch after a banned one-rounder in a more higher stakes situation where you can win 100K. I just think Brandon's really getting the shit under the stick here. And, sadly for him, Twerk, as he showed versus Snake Eyes, when he is pushed up against his back's against the wall, I think he's prideful, he's very prideful, and he's a super talent. And I think he understands how serious the moment is. And he knows, not to be disrespectful, but I believe Twerk is pretty clearly a more talented and just better battler than Real Name Brandon, at least at this exact moment. Brandon's been cool, and he's developing, but he's a very young talent, pretty raw prospect. And I just think that he's still finding himself, still finding what worked, what doesn't on the stage in general. I think his most recent 3-rounder was versus Slade. I had him losing that battle pretty clear, and he was decent, but it's a lot to juggle here. I think Twerk is prideful. I think Twerk, at the minimum, I don't even think he's going to win in the second round. I have my opinions for Twerk going going forward in this tournament. I think prep will get to him some certain situations. But for this battle, I think he comes in prideful and rights that wrong from the one-rounder. I have him cleaning Real Name Brandon up. If it's not a 3-0, it could be close. I think Brandon will do good too. I don't think he's just showing up to just roll over and die. But I think Twerk understands imagery-wise that he can kind of make up for, in a career that's full of chokes and blemishes, probably one of the bigger ones that he's ever had. So I have Twerk beating Real Name Brandon in somewhat of a suspect situation. And then finally, the last names drawn was Ichigati versus Truffaut. Extremely tough drawing for Truffaut. And to see Geechee in the tournament again, I didn't think that we'd see him again. I didn't get to know. I know a lot of people knew all the names coming around. I really only knew that JC was going to be in this battle ahead of time, and that's because he had mentioned it, I believe. It was a Hip Hop is Real or something. But, yeah, Geechee's going to beat Truffaut. Is what it is. Tough luck for Truffaut, but I don't see a way that this battle becomes close to some people on upset predictions. But I think they're overthinking it. We're just talking about two completely different levels of battle rappers right here. And that's really all I have to say about that battle. But overall, UM5, I think that people were expecting maybe some better matchups on the card for the most part. Maybe some bigger names. I heard that there was some withdrawings, some names that possibly Rock should have been in there. He said he got pulled out. A couple other people, even Truffaut, I believe, said on Angry Fan, on an interview with Angry Fan, that him, Stumbles, and Sheed got called last second. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true. But I like UM5. I think UM is great every time, even though I was a little disappointed in the quality of UM4. Overall, it's always exciting. Judged, everybody battling 100K on the line. I think this can be pretty good. Some of my early favorites here, got Ichigati, JC, and Fonz. Those are the three that I'm really looking out for to possibly win in this tournament. But overall, I'd say about 7. I'd give it 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 on the names and matchups, but hopefully they're able to produce as the tournament goes on. And those are my full thoughts on the UM5 tournament. You guys let me know how you feel about it. Who do you have as your favorites to win the tournament? Who do you see here that you just don't understand is in there? Like I said, maybe I'm being optimistic. I'm pretty happy about UM5, pretty happy about some of the names that are appearing here. You know, some repeat names and some names like a JC that people were asking to see what he would do in a tournament concept like this. So you guys leave your thoughts down below. You know, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on my Twitter, same as my YouTube channel here, JSmo Reviews. Going to be doing a lot more day-to-day updates, keeping up with, you know, UM5 and all the news that drops around it, because I'm very interested for this. I think summer is going to be humongous, specifically for URL, but for battle rap, and this is one of the many reasons why. Yeah, but with that being said, guys, hope the rest of you have a fantastic day. Keep on the lookout. Still going to be a little spotty here just for a little bit longer, but especially after next weekend, we're getting back to consistent uploads. But yeah, guys, you have a fantastic day, and it's been JSmo Reviews here again, and I'm out. Peace.